Hello, this video is for the BOLO Flier Creator app version 3.0. This is an FIU senior project for the fall 2015 semester. The members for this project are Ryan Del Rosario and Rodney Sanchez. Our product owners are Chief Samuel Ceballos and Major Jason Cohen from the Village of Pinecrest Police Department. Our mentors are Robert Laredo and Juan Caraballo. Finally, our instructors, Masood Sajadi. This video is intended for developers and other IT personnel required to learn how to install and/or maintain the BOLO Flyer Creator application. Material covered in this video includes the technological requirements, both hardware and software, how to set up a development environment, and how to deploy the application to a Bluemix instance. As shown on this slide, the software requirements include a Unix-based Apple OS X or Microsoft Windows operating system, Node.js 4.2 or greater. The code uses ECMAScript 5 features. You can find Node.js at http://nodejs.org. You'll also need npm, which is a package manager for the Node.js framework. You can find that at http://npmjs.org. Finally, you'll need the Cloud Foundry CLI, which is a command line program used to push our application to the Bluemix platform. For hardware requirements, you'll need any system that's supported by the Node.js environment. You can see what environments are included by going to https://nodejs.org/en/download. Finally, you also need a network connected to the internet. For other requirements, you'll need a GitHub account if you want to push changes to the repository. You can get that at https://github.com/join. If you want to push the application to a Bluemix instance, you can get an account at https://console.ng.bluemix.net/registration. If you don't want to push it and still need to develop for the application, you'll still need the Cloudant and SendGrid services. You can get those either through Bluemix or you can get them separately. Next, we'll learn how to set up the dev environment. The too lazy didn't read version of this is to install the software requirements, set up Bluemix services, clone the repository from GitHub, install dependencies, set up the environment variables, then code. Let's go and see how each of these things are done. The first step was to install the software requirements. Since this is out of the scope of this installation guide, we'll go ahead and just leave you with the links to learn how to install the applications. The next part is to set up the Bluemix services. When you first log into your Bluemix dashboard, this is what you'll see. Right now, I actually have some stuff set up. You'll see that I have the SendGrid service set up and the Cloudant service set up. This is what we'll learn how to do. So in order to do that, let's go ahead and go to the catalog. Then you'll search for the Cloudant service. Under Data and Analytics, we'll click on Cloudant. We'll choose a shared plan. Add a service name. I'll call this BOLO-dev or BOLO-cloudant-dev. And we'll have the credentials name left as credentials1. You can change this if you want. Once that's done, you'll be brought to the Cloudant dashboard. You'll want to go ahead and go to the service credentials. And what you'll find here is a username, a password, a host, a port, and URL. You're going to want to keep this. So let's go ahead and copy this. The next thing you're going to want to do is set up the SendGrid service. We'll do that by going to Catalog. Then we'll search for SendGrid. Go ahead and click on Send Grid Service. And what you want to do is you want to give it a service name and make sure you choose the free package as the plan. Since I already have one, I'm not going to create it. Once you have that set up, back in your dashboard, you'll see under Services, your service here. When you click on it, it will give you a link to open the dashboard. Go ahead and open the dashboard. What you'll see is something like this. The next thing to do is go to the settings page and go to API keys. You'll want to click on Create API Key and give it a key name. I'll go ahead and give it called BOLO dev-test. Click on Save when you're done. Go ahead and copy that and make sure to save it somewhere safe. The next step in setting up your dev environment is to download the source code. So head on over to github.com/fiu-senior-projects/bolo-flier-creator. Once you get here, you'll see that here's the source code. There's a couple branches here at the moment. We have v3 master, develop, master, version 1, and version 2. We're going to pull all of that. So your next step is to clone the project. In order to clone the project, you'll notice that there's a spot here with a URL. If you're logged in, it may say SSH if you've set that up, but for now, let's just use the HTTPS. So go ahead and copy that URL and head on over to the terminal. If you're using a different application, use that URL to clone the source code into that application. We'll use the terminal from here on out. We'll wait for this to download. Once it's done, we'll see that we have the files here. It downloaded into a folder called BOLO Flier Creator. The first thing you'll want to do is make sure you go into the dev branch. So now that we're in the dev branch, the next thing you're going to want to do is install the dependencies. So if you have npm installed, go ahead and type in npm install. We'll wait for that to finish. Once that's done, we'll want to go ahead and also install the dev packages. When that's done, we can go ahead and move on with the setup. The next part of it, setting up your dev environment, is set up in some environment variables. If you look at the project structure, you'll notice that there's a .env.example file. This has the sample structure of creating a .env file that is read by the project. So I'm going to go ahead and copy this .env.example to a .env file. And then I'm going to edit it. So if you remember from a previous part, we set up the Cloudant service on our Bluemix account. This is where you're going to copy that information into. You're also going to copy a sendgrid _API_key from when we set up the API key in our sendgrid account. And that's going to look something like this. Once you're done, you're going to save that file and we'll move on to the next part. Before you run the app or start coding and trying to run the app, you're going to want to set up the database. We've conveniently set up a script to set up your database for you. If you go into the scripts folder, you'll notice there's a cloudant-reset-db.js. In this file is a JavaScript file that basically sets up the BOLO database. If you have your environment set up correctly with the environment variables, this will connect to your Cloud account and set it up as needed. If you see up here, we have a bolo-db variable. I'm going to go ahead and change this for now so I don't wipe out my database. In order to run it, you type in node and then cloudant-reset-db.js. We'll start that up. And we'll ask you if you want to destroy the database. Go ahead and say yes. Database created, design documents created, and so now you're ready to go. If I were to go ahead and if I wanted to start the application, I can type in npm start. You'll see that the Express server is listing on port 3000. If I want to go check this, I can go to localhost port 3000. And now we're at the app. Some other things that you may want to take note of while developing is if you type in npm run, you'll notice that we have some scripts here that you can run via npm. We have npm run unit test, which will run unit tests on the application. As you see, we have 53 passing tests at the moment. You may notice that basically all these things do are run some commands from the command line. If you wanted to run these separately, you could. You don't have to use npm. On that point, one thing you may want to do is, while developing, run the unit tests in watch mode. So you can do that by typing mocha -w, and we'll go to the test folder and the unit tests. Basically what this will do is it will start the tests, and as you're developing, it will continue to run the tests. This way, you know that if you break something, you know you have to go back, fix it, and continue developing. If you go back to GitHub, you'll find that in the README are some notes on how to actually push this to Bluemix. So the TLDR of this is add the Cloud and service to your Bluemix, which you've probably already done. Create a manifest.yml file, which we've provided a sample for. Connect your Cloud Foundry CLI to the Bluemix API, and then push your app via the cf push command. I'll go ahead and show you real quick what the manifest.yml file looks like. So basically in here, the only thing that you're going to have to change is the services. You might want to add the service name that you've created your Cloudant service with, and the SendGrid service name. You'll also want to change your host name. In my case, it was rydr-bolo-dev. The name of the application, which is usually this, which I named the same, and then that's all you have to change. Make sure to change the name of this file to manifest.yml. It's recommended that you don't change this file and you copy it to a new file called manifest.yml. For other information on how to push, you can find the detailed steps on the GitHub page. This concludes the installation and maintenance video. If you have any other questions, please check the GitHub account for the BOLO Flier creator repository for other questions. Thank you.